What's up, guys? It is Sam here, and I've got an awesome video here for you tonight where we are going to take a look at the polls for 2016, what they were predicting versus Google and YouTube search volume to help validate what we are currently doing on a national and statewide basis on this channel. If you want to check them out, go back to the channel, where we take a look at like the Google search volume, the YouTube search volume, website ranking, their social rankings, their donations, etc., awareness, how many people are talking about them, to try to understand what's actually happening, the pulse of America, right? What the collective is actually thinking about versus the polls. And you can let me know right down below what your thoughts are on some of this stuff. I'm going to need your help to spread this message. Like, honestly, I'm going to need your help to spread this message of what we're about to get into. I literally have goosebumps because I know what I'm doing is going to be the future. In 20 years, we're going to look back at doing the way we were currently doing things and be like, holy shit, that was so antiquated and barbaric to do things that way. So what do we have here? Well, first of all, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, first of all, thank you. Second of all, it's good to freaking see you. Let's get into the data. So we have Real Clear Politics here. Real Clear Politics aggregates all of the polls on a national basis from reputable places that do polling, right? And these people, like statisticians, I've studied statistics and have an MBA and CFA, and like the statisticians and people who do this polling, like they're probably paid pretty good money, right? They're not like not smart people. They're intelligent individuals. They're probably very hardworking. They're probably trying to do the right thing. It's just when you look at this and you put it into perspective, I think there's a better way of doing things. So what we did is, this is Real Clear Politics from the 2016 Trump and Clinton, right? And then I guess there was somebody named Johnson and Stein who were also running then. And we see that Clinton was winning over Trump. And there's 11 different polls here, right? So we've got 11 different polls. So you're like, wow, that's probably pretty representative, right? Because if you take all of them, you're probably going to be accurate, and that's probably the thinking behind whoever created Real Clear Politics, is like, let's try to be more accurate by just including everybody's. But what if everybody has biases? What if everybody has polling errors? What if everybody has sampling biases? What if everybody has all of these different issues? Is that going to be more accurate, or is it just more cloudy? You guys can let me know. Use the hashtag STOLT down below in the comment section. In the Q&A at the end of the video, we can get into it. So I pulled up two of these. We have one from The Economist. This is, the election was on November 8th, 2016. So all 11 of these polls were done the week prior to the election, right? And you can see like Bloomberg, Fox News, ABC, The Economist, I don't know, some of these, Reuters is on here, NBC News, CBS, Rasmussen, I'm probably slaughtered that name there. Like, these are names in the traditional media sense, mainstream media. So I pulled up two of them. I pulled up the Economist here. This was done for the 3 days before the election, and they polled almost 3,700 people who were likely voters. And I wanted to read a little bit of this. Respondents were selected from YouGov's opt-in internet panel using sampling matching. So think about this just literally in that first line. This is the sampling methodology. If you opt in for something versus you don't opt in for something, your behavior is going to be different. And I wanted to give you a little bit of an example. If your boss is standing over your fucking shoulder while you are working, think about the mindset and the behavior you're going to have. Oh yeah, boss, I'm the best employee. I should get a fucking raise, boss. Right? Because you're destroying it. Now, think your boss is on vacation, right? Boss is in La La Land. He's fucking out. What is your behavior? And maybe you're just an awesome person and you have the same exact level of output and work and focus, right? As your boss standing over your shoulder, like literally standing behind you versus when he's on vacation. But a lot of people don't. And in that, you create biases, right? Because the people who have somebody standing over their shoulder are going to respond differently than the people who are not. Now, this is also 3,600 people that you and me are supposed to believe represents over 300 plus million people's collective opinion of who's going to actually win the election in 2016. Come on. 3,600 fucking people. That's supposed to determine what the collective of America thinks? So let's move on to the next. So this, sorry, anybody who doesn't like swearing, I apologize. So this is from Bloomberg. So we've got Bloomberg Politics poll here. This is done 2 days, right? The 4th, 5th, and 6th. I'm sorry, 3 days. And by Sletzer and Co. Of Iowa, it looks like, or something. So they have 800 U.S. adults, 18 and older, who definitely going to vote in the 2016 election. They tried to poll 1,000 people. They had 800 people respond. So before we get into more of this text here, let's go back to this for a second. 300 fucking million people. Plus 800 people are supposed to tell us like what direction we're going in. Come on, guys. Like this is actually how we do shit in this country. Like it's fucking retarded. Now let's get a little bit more into this. So interviewers with Quantel Research contacted 982 U.S. adults with randomly selected landline and cell phone numbers. If anybody calls me, there's a very high probability if I don't have the phone number saved, I'm not picking up my phone. Second, if somebody calls me and they're asking me questions, beep, I'm fucking hanging up in half a second, right? There's no way you're going to get my opinion in these results over a phone or online. I'm just not going to respond. That's me. But to try to say that, like, holy fuck, you're leaving so many people out of this who they're supplied by the Survey Sampling International, whatever this is, and so they don't give the like how they got their data for landlines and cell phones, but this is in 2016, and who the fuck has a landline anyway? But okay, right there, right? So I don't know. You can let me know down below in the comments. Use the hashtag STOLE. Let me know if you have a landline or if you have a cell phone or if you have both, right? 1, 2, or 3. Do you have a landline? Do you have a cell phone? Or do you have both? Just let me know down below in the comments. Use the hashtag STOLE. So when we get into the Q&A section, I can actually look in my YouTube analytics. Sometimes the comments get lost. So I can look for hashtag STOLE to find these comments and we can talk about them in the Q&A section. I don't have a landline. I don't have any intention of ever fucking having a landline. I've never had a landline. I'm 35 years old. I have zero probability that I'm going to get it's probably slightly above zero for like maybe if I paid for my mom's or something. I have no idea. But think about the demographic that you're going to contact if you use a landline to poll people. I wish we knew the breakdown between landline and cell phones because that would be probably telling too, because that creates more biases, right? But like, why don't we just go to the source? The number 1 and number 2 sites on the fucking planet, YouTube and Google, right? Google's actually number 1, YouTube is number 2. And see what people are actually looking for, like based on their actual search queries. Why do people go to a website? Generally speaking, it's for 2 reasons. To seek out information, purchase something. Product, service, whatever it might be. So when people look for stuff on Google, and on YouTube. This, for me, is an indication of interest. So that's what led me to believe that what I'm doing is far more accurate than this polling data. And to test some of these things. So I just pulled up a quick article. This is from this is about 8 months after the election. And this dude here, I'm sure he's a fucking nice dude. I'm sure he's an intelligent, hardworking fucking dude. John Graham Lynch, right? He's got his glasses here. He's got a nice smile. What's up, bud? And he just goes on about how this is anything that has an establishment, right? They're just going to say like, oh, how like it's actually accurate. It's within the margin of error and everything. But like, there's a better way of finding this, right? This information. We can just look at the big data and get rid of all of those biases, right? The sampling size, how the sampling is done. You contact me over a fucking phone. Like, the internet's here at scale. There's better ways of doing things. I think we need to actually have this conversation in 2019. Well, anyways, let's get into the data. Okay, so this is Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. I couldn't break it down by 12 month, 3 month, and 1 month because it's historic and Google doesn't let you do that. But what we have here is Google Trends. Google Trends tracks, as I mentioned, all the search queries on Google across the web, as well as all the search queries on YouTube across the web. And we have it pulled up by the United States. I want to draw your attention to something here. So this is the year 2016 United States, and this is web search that we're currently taking a look at. And it's almost like a 2-to-1, meaning that it's almost twice as likely to have a Google search for Trump than it is for Clinton on average throughout the year. And like, this is a little biased, right? Because this is when the election happened, right? Like if we come out here, this is a weekly data point. So like, say if we stopped here, we're just going to look, we can't necessarily look at the average, right? Because that includes everything afterwards. And I can't do a custom time period through Google Trends to take a look at just the time period we want to take a look at. So this is just for the year of 2016. But if we look at where I have this cursor, right? This is 3 days before the election, and we can just see that Hillary is in red and Trump is in blue, and we see that he's got a steady lead, and then it looks like she catches up a little bit, but continued. She just gets these spikes that are higher in terms of interest, right? A couple times, she's got way ahead at this point here, but then it just looks like there's way more interest in it. And if you look just at the time period that we looked at from the beginning of the year to then, you can see that Trump was just way ahead throughout the entire fucking year. And if we come down here, you get to see what the search volume was by state, right? So instead of polling people on a statewide basis, why don't we look at what they're actually interested in based upon their search fucking volume? Right? You're going to get way more than 700 data points or 1,400 data points or 3,700 fucking data points because this is based on all the search volume on Google in that fucking state. You can track it with IP address and other things. So we can see that just about 60% across the board went to Trump versus like 30 in the mid 30s for Hillary, right? So what about YouTube? Let's go over to YouTube and take a look at YouTube and see what the results are on there. And it's even more. We've got 25, on average, 25 versus 9. So more than twice as many searches for, almost 3 times as many searches for Trump on average throughout the year of 2016 on YouTube than Hillary. Right? But then again, this includes the period from the 8th on until the end of the year, so we're like, maybe that's not accurate, right? Because it includes about a month and a half worth of data that's after the election, so it can't necessarily be super accurate. Cool. Well, let's just use our eyes and look at this chart, right? Again, we have Donald Trump in blue and Hillary in red. And we can see that there's a giant margin for the vast majority of the year in 2016. It looks like in July, it started to come down, right? But there's still a lead. She doesn't even get ahead of him in terms of YouTube search volume until September, October, November. So like 2 months before the actual election, and then just drops off. And she's ahead for like a week, and that's it. And then it's just Donald Trump all the way up until the election, which is right after November 5th, right? A couple days after November 5th. But, but look at this. 3-1, 75% roughly to 25%, almost across the board. She's in like, look at, okay, so there's a couple between 25 and 30% for her, and between 70 and 75 for him, roughly, right? Across all the states. She didn't win one state in terms of search volume. But maybe people were using Hillary, or maybe they were using Clinton, right? Maybe they were using Clinton, and maybe they were searching for Trump. So I pulled that up too. Let's take a look. So what we have here is Trump in blue again, and Clinton. So these are the search terms on Google across the web in 2016 for the United States. So let's come down here. Guys, I need your help to share this. Like, more people need to see what's going on here and realize that, like, there's a better fucking way of doing things. Like, you don't want to do it my way, but like, we need to have this conversation. The way we're currently doing things is clearly biased. The mainstream media, clearly fucking biased. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous that this is 2019 going into 2020 and we still do things when there's like this retarded amount of fucking data that we have. We can just take a look at it. Why don't we just do that? Makes sense, right? Okay, so let's take a look at this. This is for all of 2016, again, across the web in the United States. We have 16 versus 6. So again, almost 3 times as much search volume for Trump versus Clinton. Just those search terms, not Donald Trump or not Hillary Clinton, but just their last names. Again, almost 3 times as much. And it looks like she went ahead 1 point throughout the entire year here. But then remember, this also includes this giant data point here. So you're like, well, that skewed the data. It could be. All right. But let's just take a look. Again, we've got Trump in blue and Clinton in red. Looks like we know who's winning on this one. Let's just for fun check out YouTube, and then we'll get into the Q&A section. So leave your comment #SOLT down below, and we will get into that in the Q&A section in the future videos. So this is on YouTube across 2016 in the United States for Trump and Clinton. 22 versus 5. More than 4 times. So for every 4 searches plus of Trump, you get 1 of Clinton. And let's go back here to the Real Clear Politics and say that again. For every 4 searches for Trump on YouTube in the United States, there was 1 for Clinton. Am I missing something? Why are we still doing it this way? Share this video with somebody. Fucking helps the channel out, and we can spread the message that, like, I can't do this myself. I need help to get the message out. Like, I'm getting goosebumps because this is like, it validates exactly what we're doing in our power rankings. We have a national power rankings and we have our state rankings based upon shit like this. The YouTube search volume, the Google search volume, the website ranking. Website ranking is super interesting because that also provides data to the individual whose website they're like. So we stack rank the candidates' websites 1 through 10 based upon how popular it is in the US and a couple other engagement factors like how much time is on the site and how many pages they view per visit on average. And if whoever's running the website knows what they're doing, they're going to have some type of cookies or tracking, like a pixel on there, so that they can track these individuals that go to the website. So the higher the ranking of somebody's website in the United States out of all the candidates means that they're going to get better data to be able to run ads. Plus, if their website ranks higher, that means there's more traffic going there. And we touched on it earlier. What are the 2 reasons that people go to websites on average for? Information and to purchase something. So they're going to get more donations on average than any other candidate, right? In terms of the frequency, because You may have somebody that's very well connected who gets like large donors. That's why we have our donations ranking. And one of the factors in the donations ranking is candidates who have the highest percentage of donations that donate less than $200 per donation. Because if you look at the data in the United States, in Canada I think as well, but in the United States, something like 60% of American families cannot sustain like an emergency expense of like $1,000. So for them to donate $200 or less to a candidate says that they really support that person, in my opinion. And if there's a higher percentage of small donors to each candidate or to the candidates that are winning, like to me, that's a better indication of who the American public is actually interested in. I don't pay super close attention to what any of these candidates say. All I'm trying to do is trying to understand what the collective of America thinks. Because if I understand what America thinks, then I know what's going to happen, right? So I don't need to know what the person says. Because if I know what everybody's doing and where they're going to go, I know the answer. So I'd love to hear what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. If you use the hashtag Stoll, as I mentioned, we can get into the Q&A, just like How I Made. So this is from How I Made, and their comment is from the YouTube analytics, and I just searched for hashtag Stoll. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Okay, so I got a little bit cut off over here, but if I scroll up, it goes away. So Sam, look into using Brave browser. You can opt in and get paid for view ads in BAT tokens, and views can tip you in BAT. It's basically a GoFundMe Patreon without the middleman. BAT is a native cryptocurrency token used in Brave browser. Same guy who created it. I don't see, I think that the last part of the comment got cut off or something. But let me make it a tiny bit smaller. Firefox is made for content creators. They have a referral system as well since you quit. Thank you so much for the support and the comment. I appreciate anybody who does leave a comment or is still with me at this point. So what he's referencing right here is I actually quit my job. I had my last day on Friday. Today is 12/14. My last day was 12/13. It's like 8 o'clock at night on a Saturday while I'm filming this, and clearly I have a life. This is fun for me. So I actually don't make enough money online to support myself, but I do have savings, but it's only going to last so long. So I'm not sure where this will come from. I would like to create a website so that I can pull all of this and put the data on the website for other people to play with and see instead of just watching it on a YouTube. So I was thinking about a GoFundMe or Patreon type thing so that I can get a little bit of money to pay somebody to help me with a website and putting together like a web crawler or something like that so that I can pull all this data and do it just actively in terms of having all this on a statewide basis as well as on a national basis for the data that we are looking at, right? So if you guys are interested in helping out, let me know. I'll set up a fucking Patreon or GoFundMe because that's going to be where I'd like to set it up. And then I have to figure out also how to make a living. I have enough money, but I do earnings reports every month. So last month I made about $140, which is clearly not enough to live off of. But hopefully this video that we just did helps give me confidence that we're on the right track. I just knew my intuition told me that like what we're doing is clearly right. It's like we're gonna look back at 20 years and just be like, oh, that's how they did things. That's fucking weird, right? You used to pick a phone and you used to rotate your finger around it. Like that's strange. I wouldn't even know how to dial that phone today. The next is from Edward Travis. What's good, Edward Travis? I appreciate your comment, man. Hey, bro. When you do your rankings, is there a way to tell positive attention from negative attention? And are you going to do an interview with Paige? Yes, I'm doing an interview with Paige. Currently, we're tentatively scheduled for the 22nd to do the interview. So thumbs up for that. If you guys know somebody in the media or who has a YouTube channel or who like in old school media, like mainstream media, if you know somebody in there, or if you know somebody like with a podcast or YouTube channel who like covers this kind of stuff where I could provide value, share this with them so we can get this message out. It helps out the channel. But I think honestly, we just need to get more people paying attention to like the data of like what's actually going on. And this is in reference to our YouTube rankings where we have like there's a tsunami of fucking interest in Andrew Yang over the micro. We're about to actually do a YouTube video analyzing Andrew Yang's YouTube and a couple other things where we go really deep dive into that. So make sure you press that subscribe button if that's interesting to you. Now, in terms of negative attention versus positive attention, I've touched on this in a couple other videos, but attention is sticky, and I don't know like what proportion is going to be sticky, just meaning that like what attention. So if you get negative attention, if you're good enough, some of that's going to be sticky, right? And so think about the Kardashians. One of the Kardashians, there's been a tremendous amount of criticism and negativity around them, and just like they're just slutting themselves out or stuff like that, right? And but I actually think they're fucking ninja marketers. When you actually look at it, one of the Kardashians, I don't know, I don't actually follow them, but I saw the report that she actually sold her company that she created from the attention she's gathered over the years of all that negative attention. A lot of it's been sticking around. She sold, I think, like 50 or 60% of her company for $600 million. Attention, my friends, is the currency of the future. If you have attention, you can do whatever you fucking want. Attention is the important factor here, not like positive or negative. In my opinion, positive might be better, but also it's cool to have negative too, because then you can have some controversy and get more people talking about you who wouldn't otherwise talk about you, and then there's an awareness in their mind of you, right? And as they see your more stuff coming out, you know what I mean, over the course of 6 months or a year or 8 years or whatever the case is, you can build trust with that person over time. So the negative attention that the Kardashians were getting allowed them to build. Assume that she sold 60% of her company for $600 million. That's $1 billion company that she created. That's one of like the unicorns. If you were to look at like Uber and that kind of thing, those are like Uber. Those are like, I don't mean Uber as in like the company, but those are like gigantic unicorns. But any type of company that is created and that's able to generate like a valuation of over $1 billion is pretty massive. That's pretty substantial. So to be able to take all of that attention and monetize that in such a way that allows her to sell half her fucking company for $600 million, I just can't see negative attention as being a bad thing. I just don't see it in the data. I understand that like a lot of people, because I keep getting the same comment in the questions, but it just doesn't play out when we actually look at the data. It just doesn't, because then that person's aware of somebody and they weren't aware of them before, so that's a good thing. And then they go to the store and they're like, oh, there's a Kardashian makeup and there's some other fucking makeup they've never heard of or whatever she sells, and they're like, I'll try this out, even though they didn't like her. But now there's an awareness versus this other no-name Target brand or whatever it is. They don't have any awareness who this is, even though this is negative news, right? They go to Target and they're like, I actually know what this product is because I've heard how this person's slutting themselves out to get awareness or whatever it is, right? I have no idea. I don't follow them. But the attention and the awareness, that's the valuable piece. Like that literally is the currency, guys. The attention is the currency. So thank you so much, Edward. I appreciate the comment. I think we're going to have to continue hammering on this because a lot of people think the negative attention is bad. You have to be good enough, right? You have to be good enough. That's like the foundational piece. You have to be good enough, because if you're not good enough, you're just gonna fade away. But if assuming that you're good enough, the attention is going to be a beneficial thing. Good, negative attention or positive attention. And in the micro, meaning like the moments that are happening, like in the weeks or months that they're getting that negative attention, and I'm sure it could be stressful to that individual or group of individuals that's getting that negative attention. We see it all the time, and I'm sure that like there's been people who have like taken their life, right, because of this pressure on them from like society, of this negativity, right, whether they brought it on themselves or not. But if they're good enough, the attention's a good thing. The attention's a good thing. Think about like Logan Paul, right? Logan Paul had something happen with, like, he did something about filming a suicide person that he found in the forest or something like this, right? And the amount of negativity associated with what happened was ridiculous. And that allowed him to perpetuate his businesses, right? Because people are very myopic in their memory, just meaning short-sighted. So what happens is, as time goes on, people forget about these things and you continue to build trust. But now you have a much, much bigger audience because of the awareness is there. Now they are aware of who you are because of this negativity. And for the first month, several months, year, people are going to just give you shit, right? But in the end, if you're good enough, it's going to be like the thing that helps you move forward and get even bigger and more attention. The next comment is from Ram Omen E. Clef. What's up, Ram? You're going to have to tell me on Twitter how to pronounce your last name. But what's good, Ram? I really do appreciate your comments, because these comments on other videos as well. This is in reference to the YouTube ranking video. If you want to check it out, go back to the channel. Or if you want to jump over to Twitter and say what's good. Sometimes it's actually easier to get a conversation going on Twitter. There's a link in the description. But what up, Sam? Just wondering what Tulsi is not doing. You said that Yang seems to be the only candidate taking this seriously. Yes, I actually have to do a deep dive on Tulsi to understand more of her strategy and output. She doesn't seem to be putting a ton of effort into Twitter. The number of tweets over a 30-day period is like, I think 100 or 200 tweets, but which might sound like a lot, but look at Andrew Yang, who's tweeting like 1,200 times a month. So if you were like going to the gym once a month and I'm going to the gym 5 times a week, like, who do you think is going to get better results? So that's kind of like what's happening. The volume of output of creative and content for every single candidate, if they want to get their message right. Like, you think about it this way: the deciding factor here is getting their message out to more people and having more awareness and attention. And if you're tweeting 1,200 times a month and I'm tweeting 200 times a month, people are going to know you better than they're going to know me. This is what it is, right? Same thing in the gym, right? If I go to the gym once a month and you go 5 times a week, you're going to get results faster than I am. And you're going to know people in the gym. And people are going to be much more aware of who you are because you're in the gym 5 days a week. Like, the staff is going to know you. Other people in the gym are going to know you. Like, that's just how it works. So that's an example of what actually happens online. People think that stuff online actually plays out differently. But if you show up, just consistently show up all the time online, people start to build that trust because they always see that person there, right? And you build that trust on all these platforms that we cover, because you have Twitter and you have YouTube channels and you have a Facebook page and you have Instagram. So build trust on all these platforms by, like, using Instagram stories, using Instagram TV, using Facebook Watch, using the Facebook page. And these are, or you can do these organic, which just means that you don't have to pay to distribute any of this information, right? So it doesn't, I think a lot of the candidates, either themselves or their campaign people that they're working with, think that the money is the deciding factor. But yes, it's tremendously helpful because you can get paid distribution, but you have to know what the fuck you're doing when it comes to paid distribution, because if you're just putting it on radio and television, yeah, that could work. It's retardedly expensive, but you could take those same ad dollars and you could put it online, like pre-roll ads on YouTube, Instagram story ads, Facebook ads. Like, there's a shitload of, you could do it on Twitter even, like, there's a shitload of attention online. And I've used this example in other ones, but if you're trying to, like, if you're trying to sell something, right? And you have a hot dog stand and you're trying to sell your hot dogs and you've got permission from Walmart, right? So you come up to Walmart and you sit right in front there And you're just like, hell yeah. You're fucking Walmart, it's Christmas time, there's a fuckload of people coming in, and you're selling your hot dogs like left and right. And I take my cart and I wheel it around the back by the compost, by the fucking trash where they're getting deliveries. And I'm like, hey, truck driver, truck driver, hey, you want a hot dog? Who do you think is going to sell more hot dogs? Because they're getting their message out. They're going to where the eyeballs are. A lot of the candidates are just thinking that the real world is the place to go, which, yes, that's important, but that gives you the gateway to put that like, go meet these people, film that shit, take those moments, put them up online. Because the distribution online to get your message out to thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people is crazy. You can get in front of maybe 1,000 people a day, we'll say, but you could get in front of 100,000 people online for free. Like Andrew Yang's YouTube channel had like fucking 5+ million views over the last 30 days. Come on, guys. Like, I don't know why none of these campaigns seem to like take the internet seriously. The only campaign that it seems like is taking it kind of slightly, little bit serious is Andrew Yang. And like what they're doing now, just in the micro in the last couple of days with YouTube. And I haven't checked his other social yet, but I did a deep dive on his YouTube channel a month and a half ago, and I was like, this is what they should be doing, and they just now are starting to do it. And I had like a couple of people from the campaign reach out to me, and I've shared that with them. I don't know if it got in front of the right eyeballs. I have no idea, but they need to put more content out. Every different type of content. Whoever your candidate is, like, they need to tell their story online, because you can tell your story online. It's free distribution to put your message in front of more people. The platform's going to put your message in front of more people and help you build that trust you need, right? And gain more attention, more awareness, so that they can win whatever they're trying to like. Amy Klobuchar doesn't even have a YouTube channel. The second biggest website or way to get your message out in the planet. She doesn't have a fucking YouTube channel. I honestly, I don't think Amy is literally trying to win. I think she's doing it for another reason. I don't think that she maybe has a business reason. Maybe she just wants the attention. Maybe she wants to like get a different side of seat. I have no idea. Maybe she's trying to pass a bill of some sort, so she wants more attention to feel more credible. I have no idea. But by the behavior, it just doesn't seem like she's trying. Like, or like very naive that like the old way of doing things is like gonna work. The internet's the thing you win now, not like the real world. The internet is, look at the fucking Middle East, guys. Like, we can see that the internet, social media, is disrupting governments around the fucking world. To think that you're not gonna get your message out online when you see this playing out around the fucking world, it's like a joke to me. It's kind of funny. That's why I think that she's just not trying. Same with like Cory Booker or Julian Castro. I don't remember which one it was. I think it's Julian. He's got like 86 subscribers. I had 400 subscribers roughly ish over the last 30 days. I'm not running for president. How is my YouTube channel growing faster than his? Because he's not fucking trying. That's what it is. So do you seriously expect to win when you're not going to where all the eyeballs are? You're like going around behind fucking Walmart, like sitting underneath the fucking dumpster, hiding, putting a tarp over your fucking like cart and trying to sell them from inside of there. Like, you have a tarp over your fucking tent and you're behind Walmart so nobody sees you. And you're like, hey, does anybody want hot dogs? Anybody want? They can't fucking see you, bro. You have a tarp over your fucking tent. You're not doing any work on YouTube. Anyways, appreciate you guys. If you guys want to jump over to Twitter, it's easier to get conversations. This video went on for a little bit longer, but please share this video with somebody if you found value in it, but only if you think that person is going to get value on it. I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste their time. All right? If you think that they're going to get value out of this video, please share this video with them. It'll help me out. It will help get this message out. And I think that's actually the more important thing, is getting this message out so that we can change how things are done. By the way, anybody who's interested should Google the Wikipedia Iowa caucuses and look at the Democratic Party process, and it's actually laughable. Peace.